Record on this computer. Okay. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to our Shreducation leadership call. We're so happy that you guys could join us tonight. And we are recording this call, so whether you are joining us live or you're watching the recording, we're so happy to have you guys here and just share a little bit of Shreducation information with you guys so that we can all be on the same page and make sure that through 2018, we are just giving our shredders the best possible experience. So we're going to just share a little bit of information that we've learned over the last, I think it's been a little over a year and a half that we've been doing the shred, and just make sure that we're all on the same page so that as we go forward, our shredders are being loved on and they want to keep coming back and telling their friends about it. And we have raving fans and maybe even, you know, building distributors to join our teams as well and share our mission. So just a little history of how this page started. When the shred first started rolling out through the Juice Plus community, we started our page, Lindsay and I started our page with Sharon, and the three of us we knew that we wanted to jump on board and that we wanted to do the shred. So this page was really just Sharon's team shred page. And we had added Heidi to the page, and I think she had been watching what we were doing and had seen the success that we were having, and just asked us if we would be willing to invite the rest of Team Fusion on here so that you guys could just, I think it's one team, one mission. And we were happy to do that. And I think because from our perspective, like Lindsay and Sharon and I are health coaches, so we were offering a lot of really good education in our page, and I think that came through, and I think that our shredders saw value in that, and Heidi did too, and she asked if we could, you know, kind of take the rest of the team along. And one thing that we've learned a few things over that almost 2 years, year and a half. So we're going to share some of those things with you to help you guys understand what we can be doing to be posting and making sure that our shredders get the best experience. So the page started out with, I think once we opened it up to the rest of the team, I think we might have had 70 people in there, and now we are over 300 people. And our January 2018 shred, I don't think that any of us, at least Lindsay and I wasn't ready for that. I was like,
it was awesome, though. I have to say, you guys did a great job at stepping it up in terms of posting and commenting and all of that. So kudos to you guys. And
yeah,
it just shows you the value that we're giving to our shredders. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're happy to keep doing that. Lindsay and I will keep, you know, we invest the money every year. We pay the $120 a year for Post My Party. It makes our lives easier, because the first couple shreds I wasn't doing that. And then we were sucked into like, oh, I got to remember to post this today and that today. So it makes my life easier to just to have those posts auto posted. So if there's anything that we aren't covering that you think that you would like us to touch on, let us know. Or if there's, you know, posts that you think that you would like to just see us change. I mean, we're totally open to be refreshing our content from month to month. And I try to do that. There's a lot of repeat posts that Lindsay and I both have, but we try to just, even if it's just changing a graphic, just so that it gets more attention or something simple like that. So one thing that we would definitely say, when I add a shredder to the page, I don't just add them to that page. I also send them an email, and I'm emailing them the shred guide and the shred cookbook. And I actually have a welcome letter that I've written for all of my shredders, and I'd be happy to share that with you guys. I can post that on the Team Fusion website if you want to take it, and I just make that part of the email that I send, and I copy paste every time I add a shredder, so that it takes me like 3 seconds to welcome a shredder. But Lindsay and I were talking about it, and we feel like that's something that it's probably something that should just be required. You need to be sending the shredders the shred guide. There's so much information in there that even, you know, if you read through that, you are better able to answer your own shredder's questions just by reading that information. So say, for example, you've got a shredder that you ask them if they want to shred, and maybe you share that little graphic that has the shred guidelines. That's usually when people start asking me questions. I'm like, well, here's the outline. And then you get those reactions. What? No dairy? Or no alcohol? I'm out. So if you refer back to your shred guide and you have read through that, it helps you be able to just more intelligently answer to that, so that you can kind of tear those walls down and give them a little bit of education, or even just screenshot the page and send them the why are we doing that. I think once people know a little bit more about why, they're probably a little more inclined to jump on board. So definitely be sharing that information with them. We know that people don't read it. I send it to all my customers, and I get my customers asking me the same questions that all of yours are asking. We can't force people to read it, but at least you know that you have. I think we've noticed over the last year and a half that we keep referring people back to the Shred Guide. Like, especially when people are like, I'm really craving something sweet. And I'm always like, refer back to the Shred Cookbook. There's lots of, complete recipes in there to help curb your sweet craving. And those aren't cheats. You can actually eat those things. So definitely make sure they have it. And on the first day of the shred, like my posts start on Thursday before a shred. So we put a lot of effort into helping people plan and prepare. But day one of the shred, there's one of the auto posts is that Dr. Mitra Ray video. It's 20 minutes long. It's kind of long. It's hard to ask somebody to sit through something like that. But I feel like there's a huge value in that video. And if you can just tag your shredders on that every time it comes up, if you know they're shredding, or if you know they haven't watched it, I would tag them in that, because that is just really, it's great for them to really understand what's happening and why this is so different, because we see references on our page too for other diets like paleo or keto or Whole30. And I really feel like that video helps them to understand why this is different and better than those things. So if we can prove to them that it's better and educate them as to why, they'll be more educated shredder is a better shredder. And what else? What else was I going to talk about? Lindsay, am I forgetting anything?
No, I was just going to add too that not only tagging them on that video, but tagging them on the files for the Shred Guide and the Shred Cookbook, because those three things are really critical to them having a successful shred. So when I just ran a shred for a gym, and I sent out an email, and still people hadn't even seen the email. So I tagged them in everything, and it just is so much easier. And if they have questions, I refer them back to that, and I'll re-tag them again. This is where that information is. So don't be shy with your tags.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, like for me, like one of the reasons when Heidi asked us if we would open this page up to the whole team, I saw it as a value, because if we only had 70 people in there and a few of them were my shredders, every time somebody asked a question, it was helping educate my person. So it doesn't matter to us if it's our person or your person, we've got people on there that I don't even know if they're reps or customers, but we treat it all the same, and we give, it just helps everybody learn. And I really feel like it helps our customers have a better value when there's activity in the page. So I think Jan had a question. And you can
real quick, as far as since you were talking about introducing people to the page and what you do, are you okay with like introducing them on the page? Because I've done that a couple times. Maybe that's not cool. I don't know. But welcoming them to the page and just kind of making it feel more, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Well, are you guys okay with that, to announce them and introduce them like that?
I am. And I think, and Lindsay also it's one of her first posts, I think, is the day of the shred or right before it, where she's asking if you're shredding. Like that would be a great post to tag your new people in, so that it's all in one spot. Yeah. When we ask people why they're shredding.
Okay.
Yeah. We can't easily do it in the pinned post, because the pinned post is the guide. I was thinking if we had one post each time when you could introduce your new shredders and tell them if they want to introduce themselves. It's a safe place to do that. I like that.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome.
Okay, well, I think Lindsay was going to talk to you guys a little bit about suggestions on things that, if you guys are wondering what types of posts and things because it helps us out, we'll do the educational stuff. But if you guys would just kind of, it doesn't have to be all Lindsay and I. I think that gets boring for the shredders when they're just seeing us two all the time.
Also, Rebecca asked, what do we mean by tagging people? Rebecca, when you write their name in, and if they've been added to the group, their name should highlight and it will turn blue. And that means that person is going to see a notification that they have been mentioned in a post. So it's a really easy way to type their name and get their attention on that post if they're checking their notifications. If not, you could send them a quick message over Messenger and just say, hey, I tagged you on a post. Can you check your notifications? So that's a good way. And I'm going to be really quick. I just wanted to talk a little bit about how we as shred leaders and shredders can be best engaged in the page as a fellow shredder and as a rep. So we did a really great job last round. I really want to appreciate all the posts you guys did post. So the one thing that's really helpful is lifestyle posts where you guys are showing like day to day how you're getting through the shred, because that not only impacts your shredders, but it also impacts us as reps. Like, oh, that's so cool that they thought of that, or they're doing that this way. So, and they can be really simple. We're not looking for major posts. I think the grabbing things are more posts where you're either putting a picture of yourself, or it's a live post, or you're putting a picture of something. You know, if we just are writing in there, a lot of times that gets overlooked. So that's one good thing to know. I tend to think of the 4 areas that Juice Plus is really targeting with their one simple change, like sleep, hydration, exercise, and food. So within those, that might mean like something about your energy level from foods being better, or because you're doing workouts, your energy's increased. Smoothies, any recipes, things like that you've tried. And that's one thing I really want to stress, that we don't want to just post recipes. We want to have tried them. So, or you're in the midst of making it and you'll be back in this post to let people know how it was. Because we don't want to post things that we're not actually eating. And I think that can cause some confusion sometimes for people. They're like, oh, I want to make that too, but I don't know if it's good enough. So, and same with smoothie pictures. If you just quickly say what's in it, that is so helpful to people, because then they're not having to go back, well, what's in it? All of that. So those are great areas to do. And we were just recommending maybe one time a day to go in and check or post and comment. So comments are as valuable, if not more valuable than posts, because that shows that person that you really are caring about how their shred is going, even if it's not your own shredder. So comments and posts as much as you can are just really appreciated. And then try not to mention other dieting fads or programs when we're shredding, like paleo or keto or Whole30 or anything like that, because we really are trying to focus on whole foods and how this is more of a lifestyle than a dieting plan. So, we don't want to bash other things, but we also don't want to highlight them if we're trying to really get that home to them. And then another thing that's helpful on your post is maybe ask a question right at the end. Like, does anyone else find this to be helpful, or has anyone else seen this in their shred, or how are you doing with XYZ, and then stay, one of the really important critical things is to stay away from posting packaged foods. We have had a struggle at, well, not struggle, but it's confusing for people when we're saying don't eat packaged food and then we're posting packaged food. So we do have one post that kind of goes, or my video that explained like what does processed mean and how many ingredients do we want in something, that kind of thing. So we're going to try and do a little bit more education on that this round, coming up on February 5th. But really, it's going to decrease a lot of our work to have to go in and answer people's questions. Well, I thought packaged food wasn't allowed on the shred. And then, we have people posting packaged food. So as much as possible, just be that model for our shredders to not post packaged food. And honestly, I'm not eating packaged food on the shred. I might put mayonnaise in my egg salad or things like that. So that's a little processed food, but it's not packages of food. So, and then let's see. We also want you to just reach out with your team members to make sure that they know that, because that is a really important thing. It creates so much less work for us if we're not having to go back and say, this packaged, let's try to find a better solution for something. And then really it's a motivation to choose Whole Foods over packaged items. So let's see.
We've learned that by trial and error, just watching. Yeah. I think early on when we first had our page, before we had it open to everybody, somebody would post like, oh, I found these gluten-free crackers. And then we find, everybody's going down that rabbit hole. And instead of thinking of whole food, they're at the grocery store and all of a sudden they're reading packages to see if it fits the criteria, but then they're not really reading anything. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And we get that it is easier to grab a package, but we'd rather, whole food with all the good fiber and everything in it. So, and we're actually really excited to open this up for leadership to everyone else. So our thought is to transition into a place where we're still doing the posts on Post My Party between Kristen and I. So you guys don't have to recreate that wheel, but we'd like to transition to having one team assigned each month to the shred so that we know that it's being watched at least daily by that team, and it can be separated throughout a couple of people or members of that sideline team. But what we're hoping is that by doing that, we're actually growing leaders, and we're also able to better duplicate, like we're trying in our businesses to be more duplicatable. So our thought with that, well, Val has graciously agreed to do it for us for this next round coming on. We're super excited. So Val's team is going to do that. And what we're thinking it's going to look like is at least checking in at least one time a day, maybe more than that. It can be as much as you want. And making sure all the posts have been commented and liked. And also, if you see a shredder that may belong to another rep and they didn't see anything, you can tag them in that post too and say, hey, so-and-so had a question, or you can write them a Facebook message. Also, just posting in the Boxer Shred Leaders box group. If you're seeing like things are really slow and people aren't getting on and commenting and posting, especially if they have people on the shred that they've added for that round, we would love for you to just post a quick message to everyone in the Boxer chat. Hey, so-and-so, or just, hey, shred leaders, we'd love to see a little bit more activity or push on the shred page. And that could just be one comment or, things like that. So,
and then if there's posts that you got, I'm not sorry, Lindsay. If there are questions or things that come up and you guys aren't sure how to answer them, you can tag us in it or just message Lindsay and I, and we can.
Yeah. That was the next thing I was going to say. Have that down. And then we will have signups for this on the JP Team Fusion was our thought, just to sign up for the month. And obviously, if you signed up for a month and then you realize, oh my gosh, I'm going on a cruise for that week, I'm not going to be able to answer. We can trade out months. That's not a problem. We just wanted to make sure that, it's not the Kristen and Lindsay page, because we want you guys to be highlighted just as much as we're posting. And we also wanted to offer opportunity for leadership. So I think it's going to be a great thing. And then let's see.
Hey, Lindsay.
Yes.
On that subject, so basically you're saying that the team that signs up for the month or for that particular shred, that we are in there every day and we're making sure that it's moving. But
one time a day at least.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean if you have shredders in there, you need to be in there working with people anyways. It's just a foundation. Okay, just so that everybody's clear on that it doesn't mean that you don't go in there because it's not your month. Right?
No.
If you have
I think as a whole, we kind of understand that if we have a shredder, we need to watch out for our shredder.
Yeah.
Maybe it needs to be stated.
Yes.
But I think too that if you are the team assigned and you're seeing a shredder not being liked by that rep, or the things that like comments or the likes to their post, that we should send them a gentle reminder. Hey, just wanted to let you know so-and-so is posting a lot. You may want to comment on this post. We try to do that to help you guys out too. So if you haven't been told that, then you're doing a great job keeping up with your shredders. So there's a lot of behind the scenes work. I don't know that everyone kind of sees how much we're doing as we're going through. And then if we see an area that needs to be addressed, we end up creating more posts on that area, that kind of thing. So yeah, that was a great question though, Jan. Kudos.
I guess the team, whoever the lead team is that month, it's basically like being the sweeper, just making sure that things are being,
and addressed,
being attended to. So we can take our eyes off of it for 5 minutes a day.
Yeah, exactly. I literally was on there like 5 times a day, just making sure, because I don't like my shredders to sit and not have their answers to their questions. So I'm pretty aggressive. If I see their name come across notifications, I'll be right in there. So hopefully, that's what you're going to see, is their name will come across notifications that they posted or liked something in the shred group. So, and then, I guess if people don't want to sign up for a rotation, then we probably are at the point where we're just going to say, well, if you're not participating in this group, then you probably don't want to be involved with the shred, and invite your people. Because if they're not seeing you post and like and shred alongside of them, they're not going to return, to be honest. So I've seen amazing results from some of my shredders, and they come back and they're so excited to be there when I've been in there. But if I don't post, they're kind of like, meh, meh, So I think it really does keep them. Your activity really is a reflection of how much activity they're probably going to have as well. So, and then one other quick question I had was, how are people liking the polls for things? Do you like if we post a poll every day? Is that something that's a lot of work, because you can't pre-post the polls, but we could pre-post a question of like, how is day 5 going?
I haven't had any feedback on those polls myself.
Maybe doing it midweek, just doing like a midweek check-in.
Okay.
Every day or whatever. And that kind of gives them a visual of their own progress,
I like that idea, because I feel like daily, I think they do get buried, because if somebody goes and posts or answers one that's 3 days old, it bumps it back up to the top, and it's
right.
Yeah,
it's confusing.
Probably Wednesday check-in or whatever it would be.
Yeah, maybe a Wednesday, Friday, Wednesday check-in. So, we have that winner chicken dinner. Tell us how your shred was. That's kind of the end of the shred post. So I guess we don't need to, but maybe we'll add 2 more. But okay, that's great.
Doing it midway through, it makes them look, or helps give them a visual of, and make them think about where they are at, and they probably come a lot further than maybe they're feeling.
Right. Oh. And I plan, even before we start, to post another poll on who's going to join us, and if they don't want to join us, why. I think that's valuable too, like we did last round. Okay, and then I guess that's it from me. Kristen, do you want to open it up to questions and suggestions?
Yeah, if anybody has any questions or anything that you think that we want to touch on or touch more on. We did add more content this round with, let me see, what were some of the things?
Omegas and benefits of omegas.
Touch on that, because I added a post about omegas, about the importance of omegas. It was just a blog, so it wasn't just me, word vomiting. But we have such a this is our captive market, and I'm sure that all of the people that are in there are not ordering omegas. I know all of my customers aren't. So if we can do a little better job educating them about the omegas, I think that's important. So we're going to try to touch a little more on why they're important. But if you guys can be posting pictures of your omegas in there, that would be awesome. So that would then we'll see those posts start going, hey, what is that? What are those orange ones? So let's pay attention to that. I also posted an additional post just to clarify some of, people, when they start going through that detoxy feeling, we feel like we have to talk them off the ledge for like 2 days. So I think we're going to just spend a little more, just some more posts about what's happening in your body, why, so that that maybe will save us a little bit of work. I also had a shredder ask me specifically about foods that contain gluten, because she thought that every starchy food had gluten and didn't realize she could eat potatoes. So I added some information about foods that contain gluten specifically, and another post about the importance of gut health and eating like fermented foods and stuff. So if there's anything in addition to that you guys want to see us touch on,
I was gonna also touch on the acid alkaline balance, so pH balance in the body, and then as well as plant-based versus animal-based proteins. And if they are doing animal proteins, we want it to be organic on the shred, and why. I have a video on artificial sweeteners versus sugar options, so that's going to be in there this round.
Cool.
Let's see, was there anything else? There's different challenge, like flash challenges and recipes that are going up for smoothies from Juice Plus. And I think that's it.
I just have to say, I honestly would challenge every other team around the country to see if their shred page can hold a candle to ours, because I think that we have a really awesome shred page with lots of good information, and we come together as a team to make it rock. And I would love to be invited to another team's page, just like
Me too.
Listen, I'm jumping in here and I'm telling you, you guys are freaking amazing, and everything you've done and everything you've provided for us is over the top. And yeah, there is not another shred page in the world that has all the information, that's doing all these things, that's consistent with all of this. Now listen to me, I'm telling you the truth here. You guys have got this going on. And because you're both so good at this, and you're so good at health coaching and answering the questions and realizing what the need is and filling the need and doing all that, it's like, I want to just say, stop, okay? You guys have a Ferrari here. It's like, okay, now let's, and this is, but this is the thing. It is just a blessing beyond blessing for me to have this, because I can't do all this. There's no way I can do what you guys have done.
I don't think any of us could do it ourselves. So it's really cool that we
one team, one mission, for sure.
Well, yes, but I want you guys to think about like duplicatability. Like, you know what? This is my point. I don't want you guys working so hard. You guys have created an incredible machine here. And maybe you don't realize it. Maybe you're just, because this is the thing, both of you are so good at this. It's like, we can make it better, we can make it better, we can make it better. That's probably why it's so good, right?
Right.
But like the thing with the polls. Okay, I love the polls. They're a blast, but I know how hard that is. And to do that all the time, it's fun. And I'm thinking from the shredder's point of view, it's a great reminder. Like Jan said, it's a great reminder. It's like, oh, you know what? I'm not doing that. Or I did really good at this. I can pat myself on the back, whatever. But that's a lot of work. You know it is. So I first of all, for everybody and all the people that I've ever had on the shred, which hasn't been a great big thing for me, but
it will, Tim.
I can't thank you enough for it. Well, and this is something else. Rebecca asked the question about segueing into the 30-day and or taking it all the way into the 4-month thing. That's the only thing I would like to, and I don't even want to say it because I don't want to add to your workload. I do not want to add to your workload. But
well, you can just write a post for us and we'll put it in Post My Party.
Okay, I'll write a post. Because
that's the thing, is we considered maybe putting a script together and having people sign up for Post My Party, but there's no reason why we all have to pay that money for Post My Party.
Yeah.
And we're willing to do it. If someone else wanted to post everything, we could easily create a script and hand that out. But I just think that's a lot more work than needs to be done. So that's why we're going to continue to post. But if you guys have specific posts that you want put into the Post My Parties,
because it can run for a whole month. We can post things beyond the shred.
Okay.
Right.
Start 4 days before, and I think I go up to a day after with the, try to encourage people to live it. But beyond that, it's kind of nice for myself to be able to take my foot off the gas pedal for those days in between.
Well, and are you guys using the 30-day program?
Well, I'm actually doing 4 month. Like Jan, I know she promotes it as a 4 month deal.
Okay.
And what's nice is when her people watch the Mitra thing, the shred things, it's like, this is a 4 month program, and this is the 10-day start to this. So we've got some continuity there with what Jan's promoting. It's like, okay, we've done the 10-day part. Now we go into this. Let's roll this.
But that's a time too where you step in and you love on your customers and help them to just live it for the next part of the month. and then we're going to do this again, and they'll be in the 10-day shred again, and we'll do this for 4 months. And I think as, their sponsor, that's your time to go in and love on them and continue to work with them, know where they're at, know what they're doing, and prepare them for the next one then.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I have most of my shredders are like, hell no, I'm not going to do this for 30 days.
Yeah.
I'm on the pivot phase. They can easily do that.
Yeah.
But if we want to have a separate Facebook group that you guys want to refer to or something for the next 20 days.
I don't think so. I think that's however you want to promote it with your customers or whatever, that's your deal. But this is a place that we can all come for the 10 days, strictly 10 days.
Right.
And then you guide them separately on their own for however you want to run your program. And then we meet back for 10 days.
Yeah, sounds good.
It's awesome. You guys have done an amazing job. So
well, thanks.
Thank you, guys.
You guys have been the wind underneath our sails, believe me.
I have a quick question. And yes, thank you you guys do a wonderful, wonderful job. I've learned a lot, so much.
Great.
Question is, so moving forward through the calendar year, do you know if our group calendar aligns with like the corporate calendar, I guess?
Not exactly.
Not every month.
Okay. Cause just here in Cincinnati, I'm part of a big group, and I've been going to their educational things, and just kind of, anyway. So
Different.
are there more coming, I guess?
Yeah, and what I do to answer that, Melissa, is I'll choose the one that I'm going to focus on with my shredders. Like I created a whole separate shred. So you could actually shred with your people there in Cincinnati with the main group, but you won't have us as support during that 10 days. So
right.
It's really up to you what you want to do. But if they have a group you can join and add those people to, that's always a good option. But
is there a reason why you changed it? Is there what's the logic behind it? I guess I'm sure there is something.
Kristen and Heidi worked on the date.
The Healthy Living Revolution, I think they were starting the first Monday of every month, unless it was a holiday, and then they were starting on a Tuesday. But some of those holidays, we just felt like we wanted to push it back by a week past that. It's not, we're not going to go through the whole calendar year. I don't get every one of my shredders jumping on every shred either. So
right.
We just,
okay. No, I was just curious.
Probably.
I know. It does create a little bit more work too, because they're creating photos for the overall one. So we have to go in and create more header photos with our dates and all of that. But it's just, I think it's more for the flow of people not shredding throughout Valentine's Day was one of the big ones. I think we didn't want to be shredding over Valentine's Day and things like that. So,
which I think is really awesome. And thank you sorry to interrupt, Melissa, but those kind of things like starting the January thing, not starting January 2nd or whatever.
It gave us time.
Well, and my people, like everybody else is starting. They're like, I can't do it then. Or Valentine's Day is like, I'm not going to shred during Valentine's Day.
Right.
That I think is awesome. And kudos again to you.
Yeah. Thank you. And I think those groups, like the corporate group, is good for people that might have smaller teams that need that teamwork from more of like the company itself. But I feel like our page is strong enough that we can kind of do what we want.
Well, I stand with you guys. So there you go. So thank you.
Awesome. Did we have another, what is good verbiage to use to attract people? So amazing for us Catholics, it can be tricky. Why don't you unmute? I want to hear why it's tricky for Catholics. That's Rebecca.
Okay, so I don't know how many people really do this. I still do it. It's very traditional for me, but every Lent I try to improve something about myself. A lot of times it's giving up coffee, which I would start February 14th because that's the beginning of Lent. Okay. Sometimes it's stop my spending habits. So it's always something I try. So a lot of people say, I'm going to give up chocolate, which is really stupid because that, or candy, but most people are above and beyond that because now we're asked to do, service for others. So, I'm fine with it starting in February 5th, but some people go, oh, I can eat anything I want up to February 14th. Then I have to start limiting myself. So I don't know. It's just kind of funny. I don't even know how many people admit they're Catholic anymore. So.
I'm Catholic.
I love
And
it.
I think it's funny that you think giving up chocolate is stupid. That's just stupid.
I love that religion just came up in our shred-education, actually. It's pretty funny. I think the best way to attract people is just to have shredder testimonials on your personal page. Hey guys, we're getting ready to shred, you know, so-and-so, tell me what benefited you the most from the shred last month, you know?
I've never had a shredder, so.
Well, you've shredded, so I mean, you can say, these are the benefits I've had. Does anyone else want these, you know?
So I usually lead with, I'm getting ready to shred. Is anybody interested? But I never get any takes on it. So
I would message people privately, individually, and just, or, you know, hey, I've been doing this on and off now for quite a while, and I've had, like, tell them what your successes have been. I was thinking of you because, would you like to join me? Kind of do it that way.
Right.
When I post stuff on social media, it's funny, like, I'll post something stupid about, you know, having to run my dumpster out to the curb in my pajamas, and I get like 300 comments. But I'll post something about a shred or a healthy something, and it's like crickets. People are afraid to respond. So you got to reach them individually.
Well, and the other tip on posting is put as much color with emojis in it as possible to get attention. So, you know, while you're in your shred, I would highly recommend saying, I'm feeling great. It's day 3 on the shred, and these are the benefits I'm having, you know, so that people are seeing it as your lifestyle too, not just all of a sudden you're promoting something.
Documented on social media.
Yeah.
They do watch it. They might not comment. They'll watch.
And don't mention Juice Plus.
Mm-hmm.
It's the intrigue thing. But yes, private message is by far the best way to get people on the shred. People that you see day to day in your gym, because I know you work out in the morning, right, Rebecca? No. But anyway, anyone that's in your lifestyle, teachers at school, you know, oh, you should join this program we're doing because there's great education on why you want to cut dairy out and why you don't want to eat gluten. And I think it's the education behind it that people really gravitate towards too.
The problem I usually encounter is how much does it cost, and it's way expensive. So, you know, again, well, how much do you want, you know, how much does your health matter to you? So, you know, I'm learning those kinds of things, but, you know, in the profession at a Catholic school where I work, everybody's like, I don't have the money. So.
Yeah, so one thing I would recommend with that is in your brain, know that it's totally worth the value and they don't want to miss it. That they're making an excuse, basically. I don't say that outright to them, but like what is affordable for you for Whole Foods in a day, you know, and just go through that. But I also keep tons of single packs before a shred of shakes, so they don't have to purchase 60 shakes. They just have to purchase 20 from me. So I know they're doing 2 a day.
And you can also have an opportunity to talk to them about the business opportunity, so that when people complain to me about price, I give it to them as an option. You know, I can show you how you can do this to offset your cost. So they don't, you know, often take me up on that, but at least it kind of it shuts them up and makes them stop making excuses.
Right.
Okay.
And otherwise, you need to make more friends that have more money.
Absolutely.
I swear we did this shred at the gym, and literally I had 8 people sign up over one night. It was amazing. And they're already putting money into a gym for boot camp, and they were like totally all in. So I think you have to find the people that want to put money into their health. Mm-hmm.
Good point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we are running way longer than I thought we would, but this was all good.
I know, I got to go pick Avery up.
I've got food in my Instant Pot. I got to go turn it off. I have no idea what's happening.
I love it. Well, just keep us posted if you guys have any more questions or ideas for posts or areas we're not touching on. You guys rock. Thanks so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.